Good. So yes, good afternoon. So like kindly introduced. Look, my name is Janne Saarikko, and yes, it was my fault that the information is not there because I did not provide it. My apologies for that. Very quickly, my background: I I work for Natural Resources Institute of Finland. So we're a government organization. I have a very nice pleasure to work together with over 600 senior researchers and over 50 research professors, focusing only on natural resources research. My role in the organization, I'm a bit odd person there because I'm not a researcher, I'm not a scientist by my background, but my background is actually coming from the business, and for the past soon close to 20 years from the startup business. And for the past few years, I've been specifically working on the agri-food area of startups globally. And so I also have another role. I run the global food ecosystems accelerator for a US-based company called the Founder Institute. What my topic for today is extremely wide, so I'm taking some things that I believe would be useful and something I have learned from working on a daily basis with the research that is being research innovation that is being commercialized. So that's what I'll be talking about here in this approximately 15 minutes. The topics I'll have here is first talking about developing innovation to business, some of the challenges, and also how the startup world thinks about it. It's a bit different than for example, we heard the sort of like the entrepreneurship perception. The startup world thinks a bit differently about that. So I'm going through a couple of very basic things about starting up. Then I'm going to open up and explain a little bit about the support framework there is for taking a research innovation or any other innovation towards there. There are some challenges. Also, I'll also try to educate and give some quick tips on how to work there. And then because bio-based is different, so. Typically, the world of startup is it's very much centered in internet technologies. So and then the bio-based is different there. So I'll talk about that a little bit, and then I have some resources there in the end as well. Okay. First, a very quick thing about the developing innovations to business. It's actually very challenging because often when people are saying that they want to have a startup company, and it starts with an idea like we've heard here before. But the thing is that in order to be a startup, you have to be you have to grow extremely fast. So it's expected that you grow aggressively, and that aggressive growth, most often it requires someone externally funding it. And since the funding comes from a very early stage, it's called it's risk funding. So there's no guaranteed 7% interest rate on your investments, but it's more like you may lose it or you may get big money, and it can be anything before that. So the whole sort of like the ecosystem that there is to support, they have different type of agendas, the reasons why they are in this business. And something very important to know here, as something that is being discussed all the time, is two fits that you're looking for in the very early stages of growing with your innovation. And the first one is called problem solution fit. Problem solution fit means that that the innovation actually in the startup world is not expected to start from a great product innovation or technology innovation. It starts from the fact that you will identify a problem that exists, and you validate that that is a real problem. It's big enough problems for someone who really needs to have that problem solved. And of course, it has to be enough people in order to be a profitable business. Then when that problem is identified, then the next thing you do is that you'll have a solution for that. So that's why it's called problem solution fit. So you have a problem which you have validated, then you have solution, and you need to validate that is the right way to solve it as well. So those people or whoever has the problem, they can say like, okay, if you solve it like this, yes, it's going to solve my problem. This is not the product. Typically, once you have the problem solution fit validated, then you can start building the product. Then you build a product. That's the commercial thing that you sell. And once you have built the product, it still doesn't mean that it's going to fly, that it's going to be an amazing thing, and you're going to make a lot of money, and everyone wants to use it. Because when you have the product, then you can start looking for the next fit, which is called the product market fit. Product market fit means that the product you have and the way how you deliver it, whether it's an end user product or technology to the industry or whatever, the way how you deliver that product to the right people, you have to prove that as well. So first thing, product problem solution fit, then you build a product, then you will start looking with your very first product, a product market fit. The way how to know that your product market fit is there is that you are selling, and if it's something that people buy again and again, you have to show that you have repeat buy. After, when you have the product market fit, then you can jump into scalability. And that's when the big money starts talking. You can get funding, you can get support for the problem solution fit, you can get it, you typically will need it for product market fit, but the really big money will come after you have the product market fit. And let's talk about scaling and growth, etc. So something like, it's so not understood by many people that I just want to bring this up everywhere. Right. Then how to get through this part, get to this process. Once you have got the product market fit, you're in a stage that you actually only need investors, and in some cases you don't even need the investors. But before that, actually, in a way, the trickiest part is the first two stages. And for that, you'll need to have the supporting framework. And I have I have 3 boxes, and I want to explain briefly what they do and why they do it. Well, first of all, there are places where to go. Accelerators are the task for the accelerator is typically to take someone and help them through a certain stage. It may be the something which is like from the very idea stage. So if you have an idea, you can go to an accelerator program and they will help you work with that. Or then you can go to an accelerator that takes you through the whole thing to the level where you have like your major funding. The reason why they want to do is that they want you to avoid mistakes, and they want to make it faster. It's been researched that typically, if you're in a good accelerator and you take everything out of the program, you will probably within half a year achieve the same that you would take you 3-4 years to achieve other ways. That's what the accelerators are for. Accelerators do also have a reason why they are there. So they are, most of the time, they are not free. If they are free, there may be some other things that they require from you. So have to be very careful that you understand what's there. Sometimes they they have agenda which may not be visible for you, but no one's really doing just for the goodwill. Another thing is then incubators. You typically join the incubator a bit later. For example, if you have something specific that you need to develop, you may need facilities. You may need a place where to have your office if you nowadays need an office for your thing. You may need laboratories or piloting things or some equipment. So that's what the incubators are for. The incubators are often based around some theme or topic. For example, universities have some incubators, or actually faculties within universities may have these incubators. So you can basically go around and go from one accelerator to another, and then to an incubator and another incubator, and you can just jump between these different programs in different levels and not. And that can help you, but it can also not help you. So be careful that you choose the right ones and you work with the right ones the right way. And then there's a third thing here, which is called the venture studios. It could be on the investor box as well, but I'm just putting here. Venture studios are typically organizations that take someone with an idea or just an idea, and they find the people for it. They will find the missing parts of the team. They may actually find funding for the idea as well, and the idea is that they sort of like take over someone's good idea and develop that very fast with the resources they have, and hope to make a business out of it. The thing with the venture studios is that they typically want a very large portion of ownership from that company that is being created. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, run with your idea, venture studio may not be the right one, because you may only end up working for that your own idea company with some ownership in it, but not you won't be in control. It works for some. If you don't want to be a big time lifetime entrepreneur, for example, then venture studio, if you find a good one, can be a good opportunity as well. The venture studios typically take equity from the company, so the ownership from the company between 30 to 80%, whereas the accelerators and incubators take from 2% up to a 10 maximum, not even that. I think it depends. Okay, so those are one. I have in the end in the resource, I have a listing of incubators, accelerators, and some VCs in Europe and a little bit outside of Europe as well, within the I think it was within the food industry. A lot of listings for like that. Then we have different investors there, and it's really important to understand what the reason here is. So we have business angels, wealthy individuals who have money and they want to invest into some companies. Then we have VCs, venture capitals. They are funds that are legal funds with legal rules, and the fund managers, also called VCs, they manage someone else's money. So some rich individuals, actually many of them, or finance institutions, they have invested in the money into a fund that has a certain rules, and then these VC people, they manage that money based on the rules of what's been agreed for that fund. Then there are CVCs, so corporate VCs. So these are also venture capital funds, but they are a part of a big corporation, for example, who wants to invest in their own area. So they have like a specific corporate VC fund. Then you can get money by crowdfunding. So you actually have use some crowdfunding platform. There are plenty of those. And you actually have the people, the consumers, invest because they want to be there And one way actually to get money is grants. For example, especially Europe is full of grants on a national level, on a local level, and also on a European-wide level. So those are sort of like a different type of investors. They all think a bit differently, and their just motivations are different. I'll get to that in my next slide. Also, when starting up, it's very important to find out and realize like where your innovation belongs to. Is it a local innovation? Is it something that solves some problems locally? Is it regional? Is it maybe national or continental, European wide, or maybe a global innovation? This is really important to understand because when you're joining an incubator or accelerator or venture studio or finding investors, you need to understand where you are, because this thing is very important. If you have a innovation that is local, and it's going to be a great local business made out of that innovation, that's fine. But for that, you probably need to find local angels who invest smaller amounts of money and do it for different reasons, rather than getting money from a big American venture capital fund who will have $1 billion or euros of money because you are not matching with their requirements. So it's very important to do that. And also, if you're reaching out, you have solving a global a problem, and you have a solution for that applies globally, then it may be that the business angels who are typically specialized in their local area, they are not the right match for you. Or it may be that if it's a research-based innovation, you need so much money that you actually have to start with these venture capital funds, for example. It's a very complicated. Then also talking about the bio-based, why is bio-based different and what to think about it? Well, I already mentioned that local versus global opportunity. So that's something to discuss. I think that in many research-based things, especially if there's a lot of funding for research, for example, that has taken place already, and or it needs a lot of further development investment, should always think about like, can I make this global? Then another thing is it scalable or not scalable? Scalability, for big money, you need to be scalable, which often means that you need to be global or at least a continental scalability. But it's also okay to be not scalable and to be local. It's just I need to understand that the support and the money and everything is different. Now going to the investor expectations. The angel investors, their motivation is always personal. So they have money and they typically invest to companies and ideas that they like themselves, and often see that there is an opportunity for it. They don't necessarily have any need to get for more than getting their money back. Then there are others who, of course, want to get a lot of return on their investment, but not necessarily. Some people invest; they'd be totally happy if they get their money back just as is, or some people are happy if they get it back double. They are also often very much committed to the company in good and bad. And actually, some angels may even feel like they kind of like own the company because they gave some money to the company and got some ownership. But the good angels, they actually are supporting and spending a lot of their own money to help out the companies. So that's a very good expectation. Venture capitals, as a rule of thumb, when they make an investment, that the person who suggests internally to the investment committee of the fund that we should invest in this company, they have to justify the return on the investment to be 15 to 30-fold, depending a little bit on what stage is it. But if it's early stage, you're just still with an idea, they need to justify something around 30-fold time. So if they invest 100,000 in you, they should show how there will be 3 million coming back out of that. If they invest 1 million, it has to be 30 million. So that's how it is. And it's because the expectation is that when they make 10 investments, 1 out of those 10 investments will actually make the profit for the fund, and actually half of the investments will fail. Then the corporate VCs, they may have something as well, but typically the corporate VCs invest based on the strategy fit. So they are strategic investments they do. It may be that there's a technology they're interested. They may be looking for future company to acquire, so they may be interested in doing that. Or sometimes they just want to learn what the company is doing and doing it on their own purposes. But typically the CVCs are guided by the main corporate strategy and not necessarily looking for return on investment, but looking to find new technology, new knowledge, new products, new markets. And then there's, of course, the crowdfunding people. The people who invest in crowdfunding, they typically expect results, so products for their use or whatever it is that you are producing and promising them. In the buy-based world, it's still it's actually very difficult to actually find a good match with accelerators and investors and advisors and everyone, because it's very, very diverse. It's often nowadays more and more scientific and complex, and very often there is a special advice that is needed. The question is the special advice really available? I can tell you that our organization is really struggling to find, for example, a business people to work together with our great innovations coming from our researchers, because they are so specific. If anyone here, by the way, is into a specialist in the making business out of somatic embryonics, just call me. I may have an opportunity for you, just as an example. Startup life also can be very different, and I think someone mentioned it already here. If you are a researcher, the way of working and sort of like the mental set or mindset of researcher is typically about approval from your peers and very strict and detailed rules about making it in the right format. And as a startup founder or in the business, you're expected to live in constant uncertainty, with the need to change things quickly, and deliver things that are not even close to ready. So even there is the trial and error thing that was mentioned there before. It's different, and I've seen it myself, helping out some superb researchers who just don't have it what it takes. But the good thing is that there's help available for that, and that's why you need these ecosystems. It's the same thing if you're a practitioner. There are some things that are beneficial from the researcher mindset, but if you're just a practitioner of things, you will have other challenges there as well. But for that, there is help as well. I think because there's so many things, it was just a brief overview of this. Just wanted to tell you that the world is full of opportunities. If you have an innovation and you're solving big problems, just follow that lead and get the good help to help you. These will be there as well. So there are some links there. Funnily, I have the Climate Kick here as well, but I think we'll be hearing from the Climate Kick next. So So yeah, I think that's it for my part.